Hi everybody, Karen from Imperfect EFT here. Today's video is going to be on the fear and the panic when you feel about being in small spaces, or also known as claustrophobia. So if you have the sensation like the world is closing in, that you don't like being in a particular situation, like in an elevator, because you're fearful that you won't be able to get out, if you have the sensation, if you are needing to go in for an MRI or another closed space type situation, this video is for you. So when you have that initial feeling like something is going to happen, your body takes over and your heart races, you can't think about anything because your body truly goes into a panic state. So this is the absolute response that we are going to be reducing with EFT. So if you have a situation where you're going to be going into a small space and there's no other way that you can get out of it because you have to do it, this is a video for you. So you can use this video beforehand, you can use it right before, or you can use it days before if you start to feel that panic state just thinking about being in a small space. So EFT, as we've talked about before, is called the Emotional Freedom Technique. It is a cognitive behavioral therapy, and it literally will stop your brain's response so that you are not in that fight, flight, or freeze response. So this is perfect for that feeling of fear when it comes to small spaces and claustrophobia. So when you think about being in that enclosed space, what do you feel? Do you feel a bubbling start to rise up in your chest? Do you feel pressure in your head? What is the sensation that you're feeling? And give it a number on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being the most distressing or panic that you feel. So where is it in your body? What is the sensation and what is the number? And you want to write that number down, because you'll notice after we do the tapping, a couple of rounds, you're going to have less of a number and the sensation is going to be better. So we're going to start on the side of the hand, and it doesn't matter which hand you use. You're just going to gently tap with a couple of fingers, and you're going to repeat after me. Even though I have the sensation of fear when it comes to being in a small space, or if you can think of, another phrase that is more specific to your situation, you can say that. So it's an even though phrase. And then the second part is I accept that's how I feel right now. So we're going to say that again. Even though I have this fear of being in, say, an elevator or a small space or an MRI machine, I accept that's how I'm feeling right now. And I'm going to say that a third time. Even though I have this fear and my body has this fear of being in a small space, I accept that's how I feel right now. So we're going to go on to in between the eyebrow point, and we're going to gently tap right between the eyebrows, above the bridge of the nose, and say this fear of small spaces. On the side of the eye, right at the bone area, this feeling that I have of the fear of small spaces. And if it's something specific, you can definitely say that. Under the eye, this panic that I feel when I think about being in small spaces. Under the nose, this fear has been there for so long, and I'm not sure where it came from. Or you may know, so you can say that too. Under the lower lip, this fear that I have of small spaces. Then you're going to go underneath the collarbone. I usually do both sides, but you can do one side if you want to. This fear that I have of small spaces. And then right around the brow area for women, about 4 centimeters underneath the armpits, one side or both sides, whatever you want to do. This fear that I have of small spaces. And then on top of your head, just gently tap this fear that I have of small spaces. And we're going to go on, because this is usually a fear that a lot of people have, and that it is really a difficult one for most people. So you're going to go back to the eyebrow point, this fear that I have of small spaces. On the side of the eye, I don't want to have this fear anymore because it's changing my life. Under the eye, this fear has been here for so long. Under the nose, I want to be able to get into an elevator and not have this fear, or get into an airplane or any other thing. Under the lower lip, this fear that I have is safe to have, but I don't want it any longer. This fear in my body is here, but I don't want it to be there any longer. And under the arms, this fear that I have is real. On top of the head, this fear that I have of small spaces is real, but it is okay to let it go. Just take a deep breath and let it go. And just kind of notice how your body is feeling right now. Are you feeling less panicked when it comes to thinking about being in a particular space, like an airplane, an elevator, being in a car? Some people feel that claustrophobia when being in a car. And, just think about that sensation in your body. Are you feeling less stress about it? Or is the sensation the same? If the sensation is the same and your number is the same, I definitely recommend that you repeat those 2 rounds of tapping. And then we're going to finish with a 3rd round, which I'm going to do in just a moment. And we're going to turn it around so that you can have the experience of being able to release it, so that you don't have that sensation when you go to a building that only has elevators, or if you need to have an MRI, things like that. So this feeling of being in a small space is going to be less of a fear for you. So we're going to start back at the eyebrow point, and I'm going to say the sensation of small spaces in my body is real. On the side of the eye, it is safe to feel this sensation in my body, but it is safe to let it go. Under the eye, my body doesn't have to feel as panicked when it comes to small spaces. Under the nose, and I'm going to be able to go into this situation without having this trigger of fear. Right above the chin area, this feeling of fear is leaving my body, and it feels much better. Under the clavicle, this feeling in my body is calm, and I know that I'm going to be able to handle this situation. Under the arms, this feeling of fear and panic is leaving my body when I think about small spaces. On top of the head, my body feels good when I'm thinking about being in this situation. Take a deep breath and let it go. Now, sometimes people have different thoughts or feelings, or sometimes they see colors when it comes to thinking about what this fear originated from. Maybe you were in a situation as a kid and you got stuck in an elevator, or you were stuck in a closet because your brother put you in the closet and wouldn't let you out. So if these things are coming up and you are noticing them, that is probably a good thing, because you can then continue tapping, just thinking about that particular situation, so that you can release it from your subconscious, and you won't need to have that feeling in your body any longer about being in small spaces. So again, if you do have any sort of thoughts or visions while you're doing the tapping and it becomes overwhelming, just continue tapping. You don't have to say anything, but keep doing it, because that will release from your body so that you can move on and not have that claustrophobia feeling in upcoming events that you need to experience. So I thank you for joining. I would love to have any comments about this video, if it has helped you, if you're able to, mention anything in particular that really resonated with you, or if there was other language that you used. I would love those comments. And please share this with people that do have any sort of claustrophobia or fear of small spaces. If you could subscribe to this YouTube channel, that would be appreciated. And if you have any other issues that you want me to focus on with upcoming videos, I would love to find out what they are so that I can really try to help you specifically with things that you need in your life so that you can have a more calm, focused life and not have the feeling of panic, anxiety, or fear. So thank you, and I will see you next time.